It's what I'm calling your spiritual kick in the pants. So, your little kick in the butt. And because I was thinking about this, I get this question a lot from people, I'm struggling to do my self-care. I uh, I don't make time for myself. If you're a part of my Empowered Women program, like daily self-care is a huge part of the program, but like we fall off. Like people do it for a while and then life happens and we just fall off. And it doesn't have to be long. Like really 5 minutes, 10 minutes. My little goal for everybody is 11 minutes. I have a little 11-minute routine that I give people, but it could be 3 minutes. But the problem is that most of us aren't giving that to ourselves. And there's a lot of reasons why. It has to do with valuing yourself, putting yourself as a priority. Give me a hands up if you suck at making yourself a priority, because most women do. It's how we're wired. We're wired to nurture and help others. That's how we're wired as women. Obviously, it's in our DNA, like to care for people. So it's not your fault. But you have to work against some of the programming. Not only that, our society puts that on women and how we grow up. If we grew up with any kind of trauma or whatnot, we often kind of turn into people pleasers in order to get love from others. We don't realize that's what we're doing, but I've talked about that many times in here, that we're wired to receive love and get love and attention how we did as children. So if mom and dad weren't very affectionate and very loving, but you did such a great job today when you achieved something, or you got attention when you helped mom around the house, we learn that we get love, we get attention from pleasing. And so we grow up and we learn we just need to keep giving to everybody else, because that's how we get love, that's how we get attention, and you're just wired that way. You can rewire yourself, okay? So I popped on here, I think it was last week or the week before, and responded to somebody's question about this, saying, I can't make time for self-care, or we want like a secret, we want like the magic sauce that makes us just like get up in the morning and want to take care of ourselves, and when you have small children, like I know that person does, that's not easy, right? It's not easy to just get up and jump out of bed and take care of yourself when you have kids crying or whatever. But you could take 3 minutes maybe while they're taking a nap, or 5 minutes, even if you're exhausted. It's sacred time for yourself, and there's no easy way, there's no easy button to push that like you're instantly going to want to do this. Okay, think about working out. So I work out at Orange Theory. I've just now added on a third, so I go 3 times a week. It's the worst exercise ever in my opinion. I don't like that kind of exercise, but my body really likes it, so I try to do that, and then yoga on my days off. My body really needs to like push really hard, but do I get up in the morning and want to go to Orange Theory and nearly kill myself? No, I don't, right? But we do certain things because it's good for us in the long run. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but this is your spiritual kick in the butt, because we've got to start looking at our self-care, our spiritual soul time, whatever you want to call it, your self-care, your soul time, your quiet time with yourself. You've got to start treating that like you would brushing your teeth. Like you don't miss a day without brushing your teeth. Like you don't leave the house without doing that. It's become a discipline for you. You've done it for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's just ingrained. I now brush my teeth. If I don't, over time, they're going to deteriorate and then probably fall out, right? So there's a motivation there to do that, to take care of yourself. But well, there's not really a motivation there. It's just become a discipline, right? It's not like I get up in the morning, I'm like, I can't wait to brush my teeth. It's like, that's not a thing. But we do it because we know the long-term goal is I got to take care of my teeth. People tell me I do, so I do. As I'm aging with grace, as I like to say, because I'm not getting older, I am aging with grace. I've always been thin, and I've always been able to eat whatever I want, and that has been a blessing, right? And I've just never, and like I could work out a little bit and like my muscles would pop out and I wouldn't really have to do a whole lot. Like I was very, very lucky. So as I'm aging with grace, I'm starting to notice that the area around my belly doesn't really go back like it used to. So I decided, okay, I'm going to cut out all of carbs. I'm going to try that. I had a friend that did it and she kind of gave me some ideas. I tried it for a week, you guys, and that's about all I lasted. I guess it's not really technically keto, but it's kind of like that. It's basically like paleo, but you can't even eat potatoes. And I'm Irish, so let's be real about not eating potatoes. It's like, I love potatoes. Like, you're taking away my favorite food, okay? So I tried it for a week. I noticed a difference. Like my stomach, that low belly area was starting to like tighten up a little bit. And I was like, wow. But it's impossible to maintain. Give me a high five. I mean, if you are somebody that does that, I am like mad respect to you because that is amazing. I like certain foods too much to give up completely. Now I really try to cut back on the gluten. Obviously, I never eat sandwiches. I try to mediate it in different ways. But the reason I'm sharing this story with you is that I can have a goal. Like, I want a really slim belly. I want everything tight in there. I want to look slim and trim. I want to have a six-pack. But it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of goals and a lot of giving up of a lot of things to have that become my reality. Does that make sense? So if that's what I want, I have to be willing to give up some stuff in order to get it. And all of us want more peace. All of us want more happiness. All of us want more joy. All of us want to be less anxious, less stressed, less whatever. And I'd love to hear from you if any of those are your goals. Like, am I just making this up, or is that kind of what everybody wants? We all want to feel less anxious, less stressed, more peaceful, more blissful, more pleasure, more joy, less resistance and like forcing and fighting and through life. If that's you, and I dare say it's not everyone in this group or everyone on planet Earth, then we've got to be willing to give something up and or add something in order to get that. My stepdad always said that to me growing up. It used to drive me nuts. You have to, if you want this, I was running track in middle school and high school, and he's like, you have to be willing to give things up in order to get what you want. And I was always just like, yeah. And here I am repeating his words. We have to give up maybe that time in the morning to just sit around and do nothing, to give ourselves 11 minutes of concentrated soul work to help our soul to take care of ourselves. Here's the thing I want to say. So I call it your spiritual kick in the pants because I also wanted to talk about, don't be a sheeple. Like, that was actually the message that came through. Don't be a sheeple. And that's a little harsh, but we're going to go there. Don't be a sheeple. What is a sheeple? A sheeple just follows and does what everybody else does. And if you're in this group and you want to stay in this group, guess what? You're not a fucking sheeple. You are not a sheeple. You are here to be a light worker, an empath. You're here to work with other people and or work with your family, right? You're here to lead your family. Maybe that's who you are leading right now. Maybe you don't want to go help clients or people, random strangers that come in to see you for this, that, or the other thing, but you're here to help. You're here to be a light bearer of spreading ripples of better energy out into the world instead of the fear based crap that we all have to deal with in society right now. So a sheeple just follows and does what everybody else is doing and telling them to do. And I'm tying that back to self-care because, it's not like my boyfriend and I get up at the same time in the morning, and I want to just sit on the couch with him and hang out because he sits there and drinks coffee. And that's really lovely. Like, it would just be nice to just sit and enjoy a cup of coffee with him and chit chat. It's not as much fun to be like, I'm going to go meditate now. But I do it because I have to keep my vibration really high. That's my job. My job is to keep my vibration as high as I can and to work through my own shit. Whatever is coming up for me it's my job and my duty to take care of that. It's not my job and duty to ignore it, run from it, escape in some way, scroll through Facebook for hours or Instagram or whatever. It's my job to dig in and get into that stuff if it's coming up. And I'm not perfect at it, okay? There's times where I'm unconscious to it and I go and do the thing to escape. And there's times that I am just with myself and I practice what I preach, which is feeling your feelings. We have to feel to heal, and meditating and taking time to be with yourself. So don't be a sheeple, and I mean that in all senses. Like, just don't follow what the masses are doing. Really listen. Like, does this feel right to me? And make decisions from what feels good to you, not what everybody's doing, even if it's your own family, because you're leaders in here. You're leaders. So make time. This is your spiritual kick in the butt. Make time for yourself every single day. Doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, but that's the best time to know that you're going to get it done. But make time for yourself every single day. And that doesn't mean going and getting your nails done. It means, am I making soul time? Soul time means I'm sitting, I'm journaling, I'm quiet, I'm thinking, I'm closing my eyes. I'm allowing myself to be in the present moment and feel what I'm feeling. That's the hard stuff. It's so much easier to ignore that shit. I'm reading a book called Essentialism, and he even talks about in there that so non-essential people think everything is important. And so that's why we're doing everything. Essentialists believe that really only the vital few things are very important. And so that kind of a person sticks with just a few things. And one of those things is that they give themselves time to think. When have you ever scheduled time in your day to sit and think? To think about what it is you want next in your life, or what you're doing in your career. How can you bring even more value to what you're doing, or make your it depends what kind of job you have, but to make it even better. When have you given yourself time to just sit and think? Now, I'll do this, but I've never really just scheduled time to think. So that's something I'm going to start adding into my week, because I'm a very creative person, and I think it's really important in my position that I'm in my job, in my business, to really think about how I can improve things and so on and so forth. Lucretia says, thank you for the kick. She needed that. Okay, good. Don't be a sheeple. Make time for yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Your schedule, that's another reason to do it in the morning, is because your day will dictate, right? You'll have meetings, or your kids will need something, whatever. It's like your day is going to dictate and fill up for you. You have to have the discipline, just like brushing your teeth, to make soul time. Soul time. It's not workout time. It's different than workout time. It's different than massage time. It's different than any other times. It's soul time. It's time to get quiet and feel what you're feeling. Journal it out, cry it out, whatever you need to do. But that's soul time. In my Empowered Women Monthly membership, which I'm opening up registration for here in the next week or so for the month of September. And this month, what they're doing is their challenge is to have random, wild fun. So it doesn't make any sense. That's the point. It's not supposed to make any sense. You're supposed to do something that's completely random just for the fun of it. And so a lot of people were like, I don't even know, like, can you give some examples? And I really had to think about it too. And one of them was like dancing in the rain or sitting outside under the full moon. It's one of those things where it's like in your head, you might be thinking, oh gosh, what are the neighbors thinking about me? Or what are people going to think if I do this? That's the one. That's the thing you should be doing. If it makes you think, what are people going to think about me? Then do that. Because we've got to start rewiring ourselves to stop worrying what everybody thinks. That's being a sheeple. Okay, back to the sheeple conversation. So if you're worried what people are going to think of you, you are on the right track. Do something like that this week. Leave a picture of yourself doing it in the group. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I think that would be really fun. And I'm going to give you we're going to do soul truth cards. So hopefully there's a little exercise in here that you can work on. So we're just going to ask, what does the group need? What's the message that the group needs? What would be the highest message for us all to hear? Ooh, here's a good question. On whom am I placing blame right now? This is going to be some great soul time work right here, is to journal about this. Who am I placing blame on? So a person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. A person who blames no one has finished their lesson. That's a quote from, it says, Unknown. Today's soul action, take responsibility. On whom are you placing blame right now? Today, free yourself by releasing all victimhood, blame, and resistance. They don't belong where you are going. Only love and courage live there. Make a choice to do it, even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart. You will be led. Give me a thumbs up if you can resonate with this card. Are we stuck in some place in victimhood? And I know a lot of you that are here have been doing a lot of work and a lot of spiritual work. But sometimes, as Christy said, these old patterns pop back up. It's like a new bump in the road, a new little trigger, and all of a sudden I'm reacting the way that old Erin used to react. And I'm not even conscious of it because it's a new little thing that maybe hadn't happened to me before. So it's okay to admit, I am not perfect. I am not a perfect spiritual human being. I'm a human being and I'm divine. I have both within me, and I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to suck at things. I'm not going to, be Zen 24/7. And that's okay. So the sooner we can own it, the sooner we can just say, oops, that happened. Okay, I'm going to sit with myself. What did I learn from this experience? How can I react differently next time? That's taking responsibility and getting out of blame and victimhood. I just want to send you all lots of love. Thanks for being here, even though I've been a little absent lately. I appreciate you all sticking around, and there's lots more to come. So